Hi, what's your names and what do you do?
My name's Pat. I work on the Olympic Village doing a bit of metal work, metal roofing, metal cladding.
Cool. And what's your name and what you do?
My name's Paul and I do the same as Pat.
Well, today we're asking people several questions within the business sector. Do you guys believe that women make better leaders than men?
No.
Why'd you say that?
Well, no, I don't know. I just only work for men, so obviously I haven't had the privilege of working for a woman and being told to do only the missus indoors. So, yeah, no, I wouldn't know how to answer that question really. On my experience, I'd say men, but only because that's all I know.
Yeah, fair enough. What about the same with you?
Yeah, I agree, but Maggie Thatcher done as well, so...
Well, I'm not going to say anything that's there. Also, do you think it's important to be good looking in a role? Like, do you think it affects your job if you're good looking or not?
Good looking as in what? As in
Say,
well presented or?
yeah, just in general. Like, if you was on a job and you was better looking than the other person, would that person get more advantages than you?
It depends what the other person thought they'd get out of it. Well, I'd like to think not.
Like, you might get a job because you're better looking than the other person.
Yeah, I'd like to think that it's a bit of a shallow world to live in, so yeah, I'd like to say no, but who knows, Yeah.
I disagree now. I think if a bit more respect, obviously, if something's good to look at, you want to see it more often, don't you?
Fair enough. That's the one way of looking at it. And lastly, do you think it's acceptable to take loopholes and break the rules to get ahead of the game?
Yeah.
Have you broken rules by any chance?
Only a few.
Only a few, only good ones. And what about you?
Yeah, every man for themselves, yeah.
Thank you very much for your time. Thank you. See you later. Bye-bye. Hi, thank you for joining me today. Just wanted to ask, what sector do you work in?
Education.
Okay. Right, today we're asking general public about what their views are on various hot topics within the business sector. Do you think that women make better leaders than men?
I think the better person makes a better leader. I know that some people believe that men are probably better leaders, but I think there are good leaders that are women and there are good leaders that are men.
In the roles that you've ever done, have you had mainly women or men that have run your job?
Mainly men.
How have you got on with that?
No, it's okay, and I've got a woman boss as well, so it's no different.
It's good to know. Do you think that it's important to be good looking in a role? Like, do you think you can use it as a tool?
Some people do. I think obviously if you have good looks or you think you're beautiful, obviously it's good to kind of use it as a tool. But I don't think it should be the be and end all. I think your credentials, your skills, personality, etc., etc. But obviously in certain fields, obviously you would need to look a certain way. But yeah, it depends on the business.
Also, do you think it's acceptable to break the rules and take loopholes to get ahead of the game?
Nah, but obviously some people do, and obviously if you can get away with it, then fair enough. But
Have you ever broken any rules?
no.
Everyone says that. Everyone says they haven't. Behind the camera, we get different answers. No, so you don't think it's acceptable. You think it's better to play the game properly.
Most definitely. Obviously, if you can get a foothold in the door in an easy way, if you know a friend of a friend or whatever, then obviously, then why not? But to actually blatantly go out there and nah.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Bye.
What sector do you ladies work in?
Sector, the arts, the performing arts.
Basically, we're asking people today whether they believe that women make better leaders than men. What do you guys think?
I think it depends on the woman.
I certainly think leadership depends on the level of skill and the level of human empathy.
And what about yourself?
I think it's a really difficult one to call because I think women are predominantly working in male-dominated societies, so they're kind of not. We don't start with an equal playing field, so they're always sort of trying to prove themselves. So actually, that leadership becomes about something else. It becomes about challenges and not necessarily feeling comfortable and settled in just able to lead in the way that men in a male-dominated sector can. So I wouldn't say they're necessarily better. I think they're just dealing with different set of challenges.
Also, do you think that being good looking, you can use it as a tool within your role?
So you're talking about sexual politics and whether that...
Kind of, yeah, you could look at it that way, yeah.
I definitely think sexual politics comes into play in any walk of life. Yeah.
What about yourself?
Oh, I think that anybody with a brain goes beyond sexual politics into the real substance of an issue.
What about yourself?
I read a survey once that said that women who wore lipstick in the workplace got more treated with more respect and taken more seriously. And I hate that statistic. I really do. I don't think it should be part of. But I think a very famous theatre director once said, "Women cannot ignore the fact that they're talking to a man, and men cannot ignore the fact they're talking to a woman. It's there at some level." And I think we need to be aware that it's there at some level.
And lastly, do you think that it's acceptable to break the rules to get ahead of the game?
Would you repeat the question?
Do you think it's acceptable to break the rules to get ahead of the game? So take loopholes to further yourself in your career.
I would have to consider what the loopholes are, but I wouldn't be I wouldn't be against breaking rules if it wasn't breaking anybody or anything. Yeah.
What about yourself?
Well, I think that there are more than one set of rules. I think men's rules or the patriarchy have a set of rules which may be embraced by men or by women, and that the feminine spirit has another guideline. I will call it a guideline. Unfortunately, the patriarchy and the feminine do not understand one another's rules. And I think that from a feminine perspective, that if we embrace greater connection, communication, and collaboration, we begin to understand one another beyond the rules themselves.
Thank you, great answer. And what about yourself?
Gosh, that was a really good answer. I mean, I think it depends why the rules have been put in there in the first place, and I think absolutely those rules are perhaps belong to a different era or a different mindset, and it's all right to shake the box from now and again, I think, yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Overall, was it good or was it bad to be good looking in your role? Could you use it as a tool? Well, we had again some very diverse answers. A lot of people said that it was important to be good looking, and some said it wasn't very necessary. As long as you could do the job, that's all that counted. We have women who think men are better leaders, and we also have had men who think women are better leaders. What do you think? One thing that I did find surprising, that a lot of people thought that it was okay to break the rules to get ahead of the game. What do you guys think? Do you think that women make better leaders than men? Do you think it's okay to break the rules to get ahead of the game? And do looks play a part in your role? To find out more, make sure you log into www.insidesuccess.co.uk. www.insidesuccess.co.uk.